the English media and their Declan Rice captaincy narrative is one that is not going to go away. It's something, a debate that has been there, at least emanating from the summer and perhaps slightly before that. That debate was further fueled by comments of Arsenal legend Tony Adams, who said Mikel Arteta cannot win anything major with Martin Odegaard as his captain. Never mind that Martin Odegaard did not take to heart those words or sort of dismissed them as none, that they do not matter. And it is true, they do not matter, at least not to him as an Arsenal captain. Now, the English media, with that sort of narrative that, oh, Declan Rice deserves to be Arsenal captain as opposed to it being Martin Odegaard, whereas in a way could be well-meaning, I find it more selfish than it be well-meaning. One, I believe, and this is my personal view or school of thought, that it is selfish for Declan Rice being of the nationality of an English player. I do subscribe to the school of thought that if, and this is a big if, that if any other player, at least English born, was the Arsenal captain, then we wouldn't be trading that narrative, or at least the English media wouldn't be trading that narrative, that suddenly Declan Rice, for grounds that are well documented, should be Arsenal captain as opposed to Martin Odegaard. Now, first of all, you do not have to wear the armband to be a leader. I'll put it or stress it the way the experienced Jose Mario Felix Mourinho said, that just because you wear the armband doesn't mean you're the leader or you're the de facto leader. Leaders lead in their own ways. Leadership is not about you wearing that, armband. You could be wearing it, but yet we know deep down that somebody is a bigger voice in a dressing room. He said it, he had it at Chelsea. We know it did happen at Manchester United, especially following possibly the departure of Roy Keane. But we shall keep it in the context of Arsenal. You remember when Granit Xhaka was stripped of the Arsenal captaincy during the reigns of Unai Emery? Yes, he was stripped of that. And by the time Mikel Arteta walked through the doors at the Sobaha Reality Center, that's Arsenal's training center at London Colony, Granit Xhaka was a player that was disgruntled. He wanted to leave the club. He managed to convince him to stay at the club. And guess what? By the time he left the club, and that was at the end of the 2022-2023 Premier League campaign, Granit Xhaka was among the leaders in that Arsenal dressing room. I stand to be corrected, but I seem to remember him putting on an Arsenal armband at one point for a person who had been stripped of the same armband. But just because he was no longer wearing that armband doesn't mean he ever stopped leading that team. In the post-Unai Emery Arsenal era, that means under Mikel Arteta, in his early days or early seasons at Arsenal, Granit Xhaka was always a part of the leadership group. Now, take back the other person, or look back to the other person. Look at Gabriel Magalhaes in that Arsenal backline. Every time he plays, you see his leadership. You see how he commands his fellow defenders, whether it's William Saliba, whether it's Jurriën Timber, Ricardo Carafiori, in regards to how they set up, how they need to move, how they need to keep their composure. He offers that leadership. He offers, but remember, he does all that, not because he has the armband, which he sometimes wears, but not because he has it, but because he is a leader. He's taken that responsibility to lead. Now, of course, some of the arguments that are made for Declan Rice and in vice versa against Martin Odegaard is that Declan Rice is more vocal as compared to Martin Odegaard, which is true. Declan Rice speaks well with the media, which is true. He does speak well with the media. But I do not think Martin Odegaard speaks poorly with the media. in any case, I've not seen any media gaps from Martin Odegaard. Not that I've noticed. If you have, please leave me down a link in the comment section. I'll check it out and go see for myself. Or leave me a quote for what he said wrong when he faced the media. So, also, I'll say that according to Mikel Arteta, Martin Odegaard is a wide popular figure within the Arsenal dressing room. The way he carries himself, he leads by example. And again, Mikel Arteta spoke about this and said, not all leaders are going to lead by being the most vocal people. They're not going to be the kinds of guy that give everybody a pep talk. He leads with the way he plays, with the commitment he gives to the team, both on and off the pitch, in training. And according to Mikel Arteta, it was the players' vote. It may not have been a ballot box kind of vote, but it was the players' vote that Martin Odegaard continued as their captain. So yes, Declan Rice has all those good things. His vocal is good. He was a captain before. He was a captain at West Ham United. That is all well respected. But just because he's more vocal than Martin Odegaard doesn't necessarily mean that he shouldn't be Arsenal captain. Does he qualify to be Arsenal captain? Good, yes. Is Martin Odegaard a good Arsenal captain? I want to believe so. And by the way, Declan Rice, if he wants to lead, he can lead without the armband. And I believe he is leading without that armband. We see, with his energy, with his talk on the pitch, he helps galvanize that team. So he's already doing it. So I do not think we do need the English media narrative or drumbeats to be constantly pulled out of thin air, or perhaps in a drawer, wherever they park it, every time they feel like, and then throw it at us and say, Declan Rice has to be the Arsenal captain or should be the Arsenal captain. But anyways, it's just one man's opinion. Do let me know what your thoughts are on the Arsenal captaincy. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think Declan Rice should be Arsenal captain? Do you think Martin Odegaard is fine as an Arsenal captain? Or you have a totally contrasting view on the matter? Whatever your thoughts are, kindly do me a favor and put them down in the comment section. Anyways, Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect. Thank you to all of you that have recently subscribed. I hope you do enjoy your stay on the Football Tribe UG community. Stay blessed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye for now.